Hello, hello, hello everyone! It's April here, bringing you another episode of Rescue and Recreate, the series where I take a TLC American Girl doll and basically turn her into a brand new doll. The theme for this episode is chick flicks, and the first 10 suggestions I got are Charlotte from Pride and Prejudice, Regina George from Mean Girls, Emma, played by Gwyneth Paltrow, Alice from Twilight, Allie from Notebook, Elle Woods, Legally Blonde, Cher from Clueless, Lucy from 50 First Dates, Kate from Kate and Leopold, and Jamie Sullivan from A Walk to Remember. For this week's wheel, we actually had a three-way tie on the fan favorite between Cher, Regina, and Elle Woods. To solve this problem, I have put Cher on the wheel twice, and then I have a Regina/Elle slot. Luckily, I miscounted this week and I only put 10 on the wheel list, so I had this extra spot. It actually worked out quite nicely. But anyways, if it lands on that spot, I guess I'm going to be making 2 dolls this week. Alright, let's spin this wheel. Oh, wow. I really didn't think that would happen. Well, I guess I'm going to be making 2 dolls this week, Regina and Elle Woods. And Cher will be added to the fan favorite wheel. Regina George is played by Rachel McAdams, and Elle Woods is played by Reese Witherspoon. I think classic molds will work for both of these ladies, and I was able to find one on Facebook, and the other I'm going to use the Truly Me 88 that I recently got in this video. I will be needing new wigs and possibly eyes, so I headed over to Dallas Doll Co. to get some on the way. As for the outfit, I was specifically requested to make the bunny outfit for Regina George, and it just so happens that Elle also has a bunny outfit, so I'm going to be making both of their bunny outfits. However, I don't think either of these characters would be happy with having just one outfit, so I'm planning to make additional outfits for them. But those are going to be a surprise. Once I finished the extensive list of fabrics that I would need, it was time to go to Hobby Lobby.
Get in, loser, we're going shopping.
Now that I have everything I need, I'm going to start on Elle's bunny costume. I made a rough pattern with paper for her corset top, and I got busy sewing. I will be adding boning to the corset bodice in 4 places to not only match Elle's but also to give it more structure. For the boning, I am using very small zip ties. To make the lace-up corset back, I used pink ribbon to make the holes for the lacing string. I used some ribbon that I had on hand for the front of the corset, and for the fur I decided on using fluffy yarn to get it as close to scale as possible. I tacky glued some on the top of the corset, and then I glued 2 other strands into a roll that will serve as her bunny tail and the bag poof once dried. For her underwear, I used a pair of AG underwear as my pattern. I ordered a pair of pink pantyhose from Amazon for material, and then I used a pair of AG pants for the pattern. I extended the cut past the bottom of the pants to leave room to close up the ends for the feet. I made the choker using this pink cord and sewing 2 silver rings on each end. Then I added a clasp to one of the rings. For Elle, I will be using this TM88 that I have actually already cleaned and restrung, and if you want to see more of that process, you can see it in this video that I will link below. But basically, it is the same process that I will now go through on this TLC Isabel doll that will be Regina. Step 1, wig removal. Step 2, disassembly. To disassemble, I will remove her head, then I'm going to take out all her fluffy guts, and then I'm going to cut the elastic holding her arms and legs to her body. Step 3, magic eraser cleaning time / wash the cloth body. Step 4, we're going to do some stain treatment.
5 hours later.
And I just want to say, after acne treating, you can kind of see how it's lighter right around there. But that's nothing to worry about. It will become the same color as the rest of her skin. It just takes a little bit of time for that to happen. The stains are now gone, so step 5, I will reassemble the doll, which consists of adding new elastic to the arms and legs and putting all her fluffy guts back inside her body. Since TM88 already has blue eyes, I won't actually need to change them to match Elle. I used a bit of acetone to remove her eyebrows and her upper lip because Elle actually has a thinner upper lip. And now we can start on her face up. I'm going to make faint eyebrows first using brown watercolor pencil. Once I am satisfied with the shape, I move on to the blue eyeshadow that fades into silver at the corner of her eye. I used blue and gray watercolor pencil for this step. Once I am happy with the eyeshadow, I added lashes with a black watercolor pencil. Then I add blush with pink watercolor pencil. I tried to make her nose appear wider, but at the end of it, I'm not really sure if I was successful or if it did anything at all, but I tried. I added lip color using a mixture of acrylic paint and water, applying it with a very fine tip brush and adding several layers. And I just wanted to say that I know in the video it appears that I do all of these steps quite quickly, but in reality this face up took an hour or more. So if you're just getting into customizing and it's not coming together very fast, please don't feel discouraged. It's just gonna take some time. Once the lips dried, I taped off the eyes and added a light coat of Mr. Super Clear. Now that it is dry, I'm going to darken her eyebrows before giving her another coat. The last two things I need to make for Elle is her bunny ears and purse. For her bunny ears, I'm using this plain headband that I had on hand, and I drew an ear pattern on some paper about the size of, well, I guess a real bunny ear. Once I had my fabric cut out, I started sewing the ears. Once I have the ears sewed, I'm going to put wire in each ear so that it will be moldable. Once I had the wire sewn in place, I marked the middle of the fabric that is going to go over the headband and placed an ear to each side of the center. Then I pressed the fabric in place and sewed it. Side note, I did already make one pair of ears. They were going to be Regina's, but I wasn't thrilled with the end result. I mean, it was a great learning experience, but I will be remaking those. Anyways, I slid the fabric over the headband and sewed the ends closed. I made the channel a little bit too big, so the ears weren't really holding their place. I actually ended up hand sewing the channel smaller, but you know, hand sewing every now and then, it's not that bad, you know, it definitely keeps you humble. For her purse, I also had to hand sew the top. I added a zip tie to the handle so that it would hold shape, and the last step was to add the little poof to it. At this point in time, I thought that she was done until I realized she still needed her French manicure. So I did that with a white acrylic paint and added just a tiny little bit to the tip, and then I went over it with a glossy sealant. Now she is done. I made Regina's fishnet tights pretty much the same way that I made Elle's. I got a new pair of fishnet tights for fabric and used some AG pants I had for a pattern. And I do apologize, everybody, my throat is getting a little scratchy, so if I sound weird, that's why. I got a silver chain and R pendant from Hobby Lobby to make her necklace. I did have to remove some of the chain to make it the proper length, and also the hole on top of the R pendant was too small for the chain to go through, so I ended up adding a ring to that so I could attach it to the chain. I will need Elle's heart necklace for her other outfits I'm making, so I picked up a bracelet, heart pendants, and a closure for her necklace from Hobby Lobby as well. The bracelet is the perfect length, I just need to add the closure and the heart pendant to the bigger ring. I also made Regina's underwear the same way as Elle's, using a pair of AG undies as a pattern. Regina's ended up fitting a bit more snug. I think I might have mismeasured the elastic just a little bit, but they still fit, so I'm going to go with it. For Regina's bunny ears, I learned from my mistakes making Elle's, and I made sure the channel that the headband slides into was a tighter fit, eliminating the need for hand sewing anything. Once the ears were made, I glued some fur to the front using tacky glue. I also laid out my first attempt at making ears for comparison. I made the fur bracelets by zigzag sewing elastic to the furry yarn. This wasn't the easiest thing to do, and a lot of the process was difficult to see because of the fur, but they seemed to turn out just fine. I didn't have any luck finding a white glitter fabric with the rest of the fabric, but I did find this white glitter leather over in the ribbon/trim section. I'm going to use this for her top, and I used a Liberty Jane tank top pattern with some modifications. I haven't ever actually sewed stiff leather like this before, and let me tell you something, it was a breeze. I wish all fabric was this easy to sew, and it only shed a little bit of glitter, which I was very happy about. Once the top was done, I glued fur to the front to match Regina's. Regina's eyes are green and Isabel's are a dark hazel, but they have a lot of green in them, so I opted to not do an eye swap, because while I do really like Dallas Dollco eyes, I still prefer AG eyes if possible. I did try a new technique I read about for painting lips, where you make the paint super thin with water and add ultra thin layers, and either I added too much water or this is not the technique for me. Overall, it was super frustrating. I did like how the color was coming out, but my lip lines kept getting bigger. I ended up wiping it off and starting over. Overall, her face up was very similar to Elle's, with the exception of I didn't attempt to widen the look of her nose, and there were several beauty marks to add, which I did with a brown watercolor pencil. Once I was happy with her face, I sealed it, which I thought I hit record, but I didn't, so I made you guys this really nice fake video of me spraying her face. And then I waited for her to dry before tacking her wig into place with gel super glue. Then I attached her head to her body, and by gosh, I think I'm finally done. I spoke too soon. I forgot to pierce Regina's ears, so we'll do that now using a 5/64 drill bit and an awl. And apparently, hoop earrings are Regina's thing.
Yeah, 2 years ago she told me that hoop earrings were her thing.
So I'm going to give her little hoop earrings using silver jewelry rings. Please allow me a moment to interrupt to talk about the next episode of Rescue and Recreate, where the theme will be comics. So if you can think of a comic character you would like to see turned into an American Girl doll, please let me know in the comments below. Also, to compensate for Hobby Lobby changing their sale cycle, the next episode will be uploaded in 3 weeks instead of 2, but I will be posting other content in the meantime. Sorry, guys. Several of you have commented that you're starting to create yourselves, and I would love to see your work. If you upload pics to Instagram, please add #RescueAndRecreate so I can see all of your wonderful creations. Now it's time for the grand reveal.
I'll show you how valuable Elle Woods can be.
Been on the floor that I need to pick up. So you bend and snap.
But in reality, she is so much more than that.
She's the queen bee, the star. Those other two are just her little workers.
Regina George. How do I even begin to explain Regina George?
Regina George is flawless.
Here are the before and afters. And here she is next to Elle. And here she is next to Regina. Are you interested in purchasing Elle, Regina, or possibly one of my previous creations? If so, the link to my eBay shop will be in the description below. Well, that's all I have for you today. If you liked that video and would like to see more like it, please be sure to subscribe to my channel, and I hope you have an adorable day.